Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. So currently I'm out with Kai. We're just going for a walk um, so that he can come back and sleep. And yeah, so I just decided let me take you guys along for the walk, and then when I come back, I'm gonna talk about the few things that I wish I knew during my first pregnancy. Hiya, Kai, what's wrong? Not moving? Okay. The few things I wish I knew during my first pregnancy, mostly it's gonna be the financial part of it, because there's really a lot that you have to know when it comes to financially in Germany. So see you later. Come. I said you come. There he's running. Kai. I removed him from his little car. Now he doesn't want to go back in. Huh? Come. Come, let's go. Come. Kai. Kaya. I had to go and see the chef. Okay. Tiki 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 tiki. Huh? Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Do you want to sit in the car? No. Okay, then let's go. Left. Come. Thank God there are not so many cars here, baby. I told you the cars go like every half an hour. Hello, and I just took Kai to sleep. So as I told you guys, I'm gonna talk about pregnancy in Germany and the requirements, the documents that you need, the financial help that you need. There's quite a lot. I don't even think I'm gonna be able to touch on everything, but I'm gonna try and remember what I can. Um, yeah, so basically in Germany, you can get so much financial assistance that you deserve. It's not depending on the government. It's not, it's according to the law. Yeah. And this assistance, you will get the maximum of it if you really plan your pregnancy well. Yeah. There's such thing as sitting down and really planning your pregnancy. Especially if you want to have like 2 children, it makes sense to really plan because there is financial assistance that you get from the government, and this assistance, it it will vary on how much you get depending on how well you planned your pregnancies. So let's just dive in on when is the best time to get pregnant in Germany if you're a foreigner. um so if you're a foreigner and you basically depend on work permit, you have to make sure your work permit, you have to make sure you have a work permit. And let's say, for example, I have a work permit. For me, I have a work permit that is linked to the hospital that I am working at. So as a nurse, I am employed there, and I was given, so usually you're given contracts. You can be given an indefinite contract. For me, like I have an indefinite contract, right? Or you can have like a 2-year contract or a 1-year contract. If you have a 1-year contract, 2-year contract, wait a bit. I would advise you to wait a bit with your pregnancy. But if you have an indefinite contract, go ahead. you have an indefinite contract, that means your contract will end when you decide to quit your job, right? So you go ahead and get pregnant. You will not, usually you will not, the company will not be allowed to fire you. I mean, you yourself, you can quit, which I don't advise you to. So the company, there's so many, so much help. What's it called? The English words are lost. But there is so much protection. There's so much protection for a mom who is pregnant in Germany. So much. You have to really do a lot for you to be fired. So if you realize you're pregnant, and you're feeling like, okay, if either you can wait for the 12 weeks, because they usually say the first 12 weeks are, yeah, a bit risky, the chances of you losing your pregnancy is high and all that. You can wait if you can wait. If not, if you have vomiting, I mean too much vomiting, too much nausea, and such things, then go to your doctor. Now this is the important part. They're called Frauenarzt. Frauenarzt, I think it is OBGYN. That is your gynecologist. That is the doctor that you're gonna work with your whole pregnancy. So you look for your gyna. Tell the gyna you think you're pregnant or you're pregnant. You did a pregnancy test, and then usually they will ask what type of job you do and how you're doing. So if you are vomiting and all that, you tell them exactly how you're feeling, and most of them will first write you sick, give you a sick leave, and or alternatively you can just go and tell your boss. You will be given there's a form you'll be given with from your gyna that you're pregnant, and then you go with that form to your boss, and you give your boss that form, and the moment you've told them you're pregnant, they will not fire you. I mean, a lot has to happen, and if they fire you, look for a lawyer. In most cases, you will win that case. Yeah. Because if they fire you, then it means you will not be paid, right? And if you're not paid, then it's difficult. So anyway, you go to your gyna gives you either a sick leave, or if you're vomiting, sick leave, or they give you something that's called Beschäftigungsverbot. Beschäftigungsverbot means that you are not allowed to work, but you will be paid. Alternatively, your boss, if you have like a really good boss, your boss will just also give you the Beschäftigungsverbot. Now this Beschäftigungsverbot, it's different according to the career that you're doing. For example, with nursing, you will get Beschäftigungsverbot immediately. You will not be allowed to work immediately. You, however, will be paid your full salary. Until your child is born, you should be paid your full salary, right? And that is very important. So you have to really look at the salary that you're getting, because this salary will be quite important for the next year that you choose to stay at home, or 2 years. I'm coming to that. So you get your Beschäftigungsverbot. For some people, you will get something that is called Teilbeschäftigungsverbot. So that means you will stay home for a short amount of period, and then when you're doing better, you can go back to work. It's okay. And then if you have a risky pregnancy, if you have bleeds, if you have just this difficult pregnancies, you will also be given this Beschäftigungsverbot. What else is there? I hope I'm not forgotten anything about this Beschäftigungsverbot. Yeah. And if you have a really good boss, they will understand. For some, it's difficult. And there's one thing not about this Beschäftigungsverbot. It's not that they are doing you a favor. No, they're getting paid this money back. The government is paying your boss this money back. I mean, your boss has to do a lot of paperwork in order to get this money back that he is paying you, your salary that he's paying you. He has to. There's a lot of paperwork involved, but the good thing is they get that money back. At least I think full. I think the full amount. So I'm done with Bishop Sobut. Now, let's say you have a work permit, and your work permit is, let's say it goes for 1 year or 2 years, a 2-year contract or a 1-year contract. So it means in most cases, that most companies, when they realize you're pregnant, they will let your contract run out. They will not fire, because they're not allowed to fire anyway, but they will also not elongate your contract. So that's why it's really good to have an indefinite contract. That way, they will not, that way it will never run out. All you have to do is keep on elongating your work permit, because my work permit, for example, I have to elongate it every 2 years, for example. So I have to make sure I have the next work permit in my boss's on my boss's table before the 2 years are done. I mean, like, it's so even okay 1 day before, as long as it's elongated. As long as it's elongated, then you will have your work. You will be allowed to have your work contract. So, and then when you realize you're pregnant, you need to look for a midwife. I mean, this one is different according to everyone. If you feel like you want a bit of help, because the work of a midwife is just to be there for you before you give birth. So this midwife is, for example, for me, I have and I had nausea and I vomit a lot. So my midwife, I look for a midwife who they even used to come to my home. There are different midwives. There's one that doesn't do home visits before you get pregnant, before you give birth. So mine used to even come here, because I looked for one that does home visits and takes care of me during my pregnancy time, right? So she would come, she would do acupuncture, she would just talk to me, she would check up on me, whether I've eaten, whether I'm adding weight, whether my baby's okay, whether such things. It's what they do. And then so that's what you have to have. It's not easy getting a midwife. For example, this one that I got, this is just pure luck. It was just luck for sure. So I would advise you to begin like really early enough to look for a midwife. If you don't get any, then just look for one that takes care of you after you're pregnant. There's also that one, and it's okay. Yeah, but if you feel safe enough, if you feel you don't want to look for a midwife, that's one thing you don't have to, by the way. Of course, it's cool, especially if it's like your firstborn, it's cool. Or if you have something like hyperemesis, you have complications during a pregnancy, it's good to have one. Yeah. And then now we go to the part where now you have given birth to your child, and there is so much paperwork that you have to apply in order for you to get the financial assistance from the government. So there is something called Elterngeld, and then there's Elternzeit, and then there's Kindergeld. So Elterngeld, Elternzeit is parental leave. Elterngeld is the money that you're given to sustain you during your parental leave, right? And then Kindergeld is the money that your child is given by the government. So let me begin with Elternzeit. So Elternzeit, it is now, as of right now, you can choose between 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. And this Elternzeit, you have to tell your boss once the child is born. You have to tell them when, or yeah, before the child is born. You can do this paperwork. Actually, you can do this paperwork before the child is born, and you have to tell your boss how long you want to stay in your Elternzeit and when you want to go back to work. Yeah. So, if you take Elternzeit 1 year, you will be paid Elterngeld 65% of your salary. So that is why it's important for you to have a contract, a work permit, so that you can get this Elterngeld, right? So you get, for 1 year, you get 65%. Alternatively, you can choose 2 years. 2 years, you get 35%. So that is 65% divided by 2, right? You get 35% of your salary on a monthly basis. Or you take 3 years, Elternzeit, and then you're paid for 2 years, or you paid for 1 year, and then you have to divide that money by yourself. Yes. There is a way, where you're supposed to apply. It's called ZBFF. ZBFS. That is the website where you're supposed to apply all these things. Elterngeld and Elternzeit. The two of them. Then the positive part of taking 2 years, that is taking 35% of your salary, is you are allowed to work on top of that 35%. So that the government gives you a 35%, and then the government will tell you exactly how much you are allowed to work. So if you want to work, you have to apply and tell them you want to work. And usually you're given, there's a form that you get. On that form, they will tell you how much you are allowed to earn, so that they don't take away your 35%. If you earn more than that, they will tell you you're not entitled to this 35%. So that's the reason why. And then if you take 1 year, the 65%, you are not allowed to work on top of that 1 year. Otherwise, you are not allowed to get the 65% help that you're getting. I mean, 65% of your salary that you're getting from the government, right? So, if you are planning to get a second child, and this one is so important, then it's very important for you to take, let's say you're planning to get a second child, right? You have to really calculate. If you should get pregnant with the second child when your first child is 6 months, so that you can get this, what's it called? You can get the same amount of Elterngeld that you were getting with your first child. In my case, for example, Kyan was, how old is he? I think he was like, okay, he was past 6 months. He was almost like 8 months, right? So I am going to get a bit less Elterngeld for my second child, because I overstayed my 6 months threshold. Man, that's something I didn't know. But okay, I knew. A friend told me. I knew, but I don't know. Things didn't work out, and it's a big difference, by the way. It's a big difference. I like the way the government just plans when you're supposed to get a second child. And doesn't tell you they're planning it, they're just planning it for you. So anyway, so there's that. I know it's quite confusing, this whole Elterngeld, Elternzeit, but once you apply for your first child, you feel like you can now, you're a profi. you can you can bring other people, you can teach other people. Okay, anyway, let's go back to it. So your plan for your second child is supposed to be in your stomach, in your womb, when your first child is 6 months old. Otherwise, the math is not gonna math that well. Yes. And what else? Oh, very important. If you tell your boss you want to take alternate for, let's say you say you want to take for 1 year, and then you are at home and you realize, oh, my child is still so young and I would like to elongate it, your boss has to accept. Your boss has to say, okay, it's okay that you take 2 years. It's better you take 2 years instead of the 1 year that we had agreed upon. The problem is there is so much um, there are no workers in most what's it called? Yes, the problem is there are no workers. So the fact that there are no workers will mean your boss most likely will not agree to you staying home for another 1 year. So that's why it makes very much big sense for you to apply for alternate 2 years. This alternate 2 years, if you feel like you want to go back early to work, write your boss, tell the boss, I want to go back to work earlier than expected. Usually, in most cases, they will not refuse. In most cases, not all, in most cases, they will not refuse because in most cases, they will not refuse because there's workers shortage in most careers. Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like I know it's a lot to just work through if you want to get pregnant and want to get like the maximum amount of assistance. And the problem is if you don't plan your pregnancy really well and you get pregnant, let's say you plan to stay home for 2 years and then you get pregnant in, I don't know, let's say when your child is like 1.5 years, the problem is you will get very little help, very little. And it goes as little as even 300 euro because that's the minimum amount that they have to pay you. So you tell me you want to pay bills with 300 euro. Yes, you have your partner who is earning, who is working, but 300 euro? That does nothing, nothing, nothing. Okay, the other side of that is, what's wrong with this lighting? Jesus. Yeah, the other side of that is you can apply for other assistances. For example, there's something that is called Kinderzuschlag, Kindergeldzuschlag, Kinderzuschlag. I'm not sure. It's something Kinderzuschlag, either Kinderzuschlag or Kindergeldzuschlag. I'm not sure how it's called. You can apply for that one. And the thing with these things, just apply. You never know whether you will get, if you don't get, they will tell you the reason why you're not gonna get it. And if you get, then thank God, because it's money that you didn't have, right? That you needed, because 300 euro, you'll not get far with 300 euro for sure. That is not even how you're supposed to pay rent with 300 euro. Okay, then there is Kindergeld now. Kindergeld. Kindergeld is what the government pays you for your child support. This one, you'll not, usually they don't disturb you to get it. It's 250 on a monthly basis. And you also have to have your work permit. If you have a problem with the work permit, usually your partner can also apply for this Kindergeld. Yeah. And then there is also something called Familiengeld. Familiengeld, you apply it once your child turns 1 year. Usually you will get it automatically. So just be looking at your account, at your bank account, if it's gonna be a bit more. And if you don't get it, then it maybe has something to do with your work permit, because all these things, they work with work permit together. Even Eltern Geld, Elternzeit, all these things, work permit. Then what else? Hey, what else? And then if you have let's say, okay, for example, Kai and my second born, they are both under 3 years. So if you have a child under 3 years in your household, you are entitled to something that is called Kinderzuschlag. Kinderzuschlag, it's bonus. It's sorry. Geschwisterbonus, not Kinderzuschlag. Geschwisterbonus. Geschwisterbonus is a sister or sibling bonus money that you are entitled to, and I think they paid automatically. Yeah, I think. I'm not sure because I've not begun receiving it because the child is not yet born. I think it's once the child is born, and as long as Kai is under 3 years. Yes. So that's it. I think I'm gonna end there. Oh, and this paperwork, don't stress yourself so much. If you feel like you cannot do it by yourself, there is Caritas. They can help you with this application. They do so much. You can even go to Caritas and tell them you want to get pregnant, you're planning on getting pregnant, and just look, you're looking for advice. You're looking for them to tell you when is the best time to get pregnant, how much Kindergeld you will get, such things. They will take their time and just they will help you a lot. So there's Caritas, Familien something. There's so many things in the internet where you can just inform yourself. Alternatively, you can also call this set BFS. Yeah. And the most important thing, inform yourself very well before you get pregnant. Yeah, because it helps. It does help a lot. Yeah. And then so I think that's it. Thank you so much for the support, for listening to me, for being here. And if anyone has a question concerning this whole thing, I feel like I have mastered everything right now. So you can get to me, and then we'll find a way. Yeah, especially if you don't speak the language, it can be so difficult. Yeah, I can just imagine how it is. Yeah. Yeah, and these are mostly things that if you don't know, and your partner also doesn't know, yeah, no one will tell you. It's the sad truth, but yeah, no one cares. No one is bothered. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and let me see you in the next one. So bye.